great, isn't he? That's for us.
That is too funny. And why would you think that she's here? Oh, God. There you go. Oh, shit. No.
So
glad it was you.
Yeah.
Tells me that it's time to start the meeting.
Okay, here we go. Yes. I call to order the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Aransas Pass, May 6, 2019, at 6 p.m. Let's all rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance, and we're going to let Pastor Donald Waltz give the invocation.
Father, we thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to be here tonight. We just ask, Lord, for your blessing, your guidance, not only upon this meeting, but on our community. I pray, Father, that you would bring us together in a spirit of unity and harmony, even though sometimes there are disagreements and differences of opinions. And yet, Father, I pray, Lord, that we would find common ground and move forward. Continue to bless and direct and guide us, we ask, Father, in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, now we're going to go to presentations and proclamations, and today we're going to we have a proclamation designating the month of May 2019 as Motorcycle Traffic Safety Awareness Month. So the proclamation is, whereas today's society is finding more citizens involved in motorcycling on roads of our country, and whereas motorcyclists are roughly unprotected and much more likely to be injured or killed in a crash than other vehicle drivers, and whereas campaigns have helped inform riders and motorcyclists alike on motorcycle safety issues to reduce motorcycle-related injuries and, most of all, fatalities through a comprehensive approach to motorcycle safety, and whereas it is the responsibility of all who put themselves behind the wheel to become awareness of motorcyclists, regarding them with the same respect as any other vehicle traveling on highways of this country. And it is the responsibility of riders and motorists alike to obey all traffic laws and safety rules, and whereas urging all citizens of our community to become aware of the inherent danger involved in operating a motorcycle, and for the riders and motorists alike to give each other the mutual respect they deserve. Now therefore, I, Ramiro Gomez, Mayor, and the elected City Council of the City of Aransas Pass, Texas, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2019 as Motorcyclist Safety and Awareness Month. In witness thereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the official seal of the City of Aransas Pass, Texas, to be affixed this 6th day of May 2019. Okay, now.
Put your glasses on. Put your glasses on, Ray. Got your glasses.
Now we're going to go to the consent agenda. All of the following items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of this item unless a council member so requests. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
I make a motion we approve the consent agenda.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now we're going to go to our city manager, Mr. Gary Edwards.
Mr. Mayor and Council, several items. By the way, there are several items we're going to ask that you table, and we'll talk about those as we approach those particular items. But the first one is accepting funds in the amount of $519,200 from Rebuild Texas Fund for an emergency operations center. Been working on this. Several people have been working on this for a long time. But we need to ask for you to approve it. We also will be bringing back at a later meeting, probably the next meeting, a task order number to officially begin the work as far as designing that needs to go into this particular room here and possibly adjoining rooms. But that is not ready for tonight. It's simply asking you to accept the grant if you so wish.
First EOC we've ever had.
I'm sorry?
The first EOC we've ever had.
It'll be a permanent EOC, yes.
First one?
First one.
Will I make,
Yay,
Yes.
yes, yay.
Yes.
It's a big deal.
will I make a motion that we approve, that we accept the $519,200 in funding from Rebuild Texas Fund to be used for the city's first EOC?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor and Council, 7.2 and 7.3, the next two items on the agenda, we are going to ask that those be tabled for now. And the reason for that request is that there may be an opportunity for additional funds for the city of Aransas Pass. Lineberger and Company are working with us on that. I don't know if you have any questions of them, but until we resolve or address some issues related to higher bids coming in, which would benefit the city, we're asking that 7.2 and 7.3 be tabled for now.
I do have a question. Is there any way that when someone is buying this liened property, that we ask them, because everybody says, oh, I'm going to build a home and we're going to put it back on the tax rolls, and we don't see that happening. Is there any way that we can have them submit their plans and guidelines as to when their project is going to start and end? Or is that totally out of the question?
You want to come to the podium?
Yes.
Up there.
My name is Stephen Salcedo. I'm a partner with the law firm of Lineberger Attorneys at Law. To address your question, the tax code is silent as to additional provisions required in order for people to purchase property. I would say the answer to your question is there's no provision under the Texas Property Code to require anything else other than what is written in the Texas Property Code. So in that case, I don't believe we would have the authority to do so.
Thank you.
Just for your information, what you have before here tonight is a request to purchase property for less than minimum bid at the original tax sale. When it goes to sale at the public auction and the minimum bid is set by law, that doesn't require your consent. It's when you receive a private bid for less than what it would have gone for at the original sale, that's when it does require your consent. And the reason we're asking you to table it tonight is because we received multiple bids now, and we're going to contact both people who submitted the bid and have them bid off against each other and come back once again with the highest bid.
And as your city attorney, I have a different opinion or a different approach to take in requiring people who may request lien removal, not a tax sale, but lien removal, and conditions precedent for that removal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we request you table this.
Yes.
Well, I'll make a motion, we table items 7.2 and 7.3.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor and Council, the next item is 7.4, and the request to the council is to suspend the June 5th effective date of the AEP, Texas Inc.'s requested rate change. This would allow the city time to look at this matter further, to study the request and establish some reasonable rates. Patrick King with AEP is here tonight and can address from the AEP perspective any questions you might have. Patrick, anything to say?
Thank you.
Prior to the discussion, I think Councilmember Abrego is going to abstain from this discussion. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
My husband works for AEP, so upstate.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, council members, and staff. Patrick King, External Affairs Manager with AEP Texas, covering the Aransas Pass area. I just wanted to provide some additional information and background on the base rate review filing that occurred last week. As a result of recent rule changes at the Public Utility Commission, AEP Texas was required to submit a rate review request change on May the 1st, 2019. What this will do is this will give AEP Texas an opportunity to reset our base rates, and in effect, we can also go through our current tariff manual and make adjustments to our current tariff manual as needed. One of the adjustments that we're asking approval from the Public Utility Commission is to offer LED street lighting for cities. It's something that is needed, and we're prepared to move forward with that if that ask is approved. There's some commercial tariff structures that we're asking for some modifications on. There's some demand ratchets that are kind of punitive to some small businesses, so we're asking to try to clean some of that up and help relieve some of the tariffs in the small business rate class. In addition, we're seeking about a 4.2% increase of the base rates, which would cover all of the revenue classes. And just remember, this is the initial ask that will go before the Public Utility Commission. If it is approved, the residential households using 1,000 kilowatt hours of electricity a month would see an estimated increase of about $4.75 a month. So there are several things that the cities are permitted to do. In effect, there's actually three options that cities have original jurisdiction. One of the options would be to grant the request. Another option would be to deny it, and then the third option would be to suspend it. And obviously, we would prefer that the city councils would suspend it, but it appears that the other option that's permitted is to, I'm sorry, we would prefer that the counties deny it, but the other option would be to suspend it for 90 days. What that's going to do is that's just going to extend the total timeline for y'all to make a final decision to 125 days. So if no action is taken after that 125 days, the rates will go into effect. Once the city acts on its final decision, whatever comes next month or 45 days down the road, AEP Texas will eventually appeal that decision, and then it will move it to the Public Utility Commission for final review. And the reason for that is when the PUCT makes its final decision, we want to be able to have uniform rate structures throughout our whole service territory. So this is procedural in nature, and we'll get to another point in the future where we'll need to come back and address once y'all make your final decision on what you need to do. And I really I want to thank the city manager. We filed this on Wednesday, and I was in communications with him because it's important to get it on the agendas as soon as possible. So I appreciate your help with that.
And again, we're just asking that it be suspended. We're proposing that route, and hiring of a law firm also as part of that, involving several cities. But the suspension is what the resolution is about, if you agree.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I make a motion, we approve resolution 2019-891.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The final item is an item we are also requesting that it be tabled, if you agree, and that's the Hibiscus Club proposal for installation and maintenance of a Blue Star Military Memorial. This needs to go to your Memorial Commission first, and it was pointed out by the city secretary who discovered that. So consequently, we're asking that this be tabled until the Memorial Commission has an opportunity to look at this more closely.
I'll make a motion, we table item 7.5.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now we're gonna go to community enrichment. It's consider an act on awarding request for proposal for fireworks contract for City of Aransas Pass Annual Independence Celebration.
Mr. Mayor and Council, I'm going to go ahead and take this. This is the fireworks, and the request is to go with the company that we've been with Charlie. The reason is the price is the same. However, there are more fireworks with his company that we get for the same price. Plus, there's a history. We've worked with this company before, so the suggestion is to go with his company for the fireworks in July, if council agrees. Western Enterprise.
I make a motion that we accept the bid for $22,000 to Western Enterprises for the July 4th fireworks celebration.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's July 5th, correct?
July 5th. Well,
July 5th.
July 4th, but it's on July
Yeah,
5th.
July 5th.
Okay,
Oh, that's great.
We know what you're talking about.
yeah.
Now we're gonna go to public safety, and we go to Mr. Eric Blanchard.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The first item I have for you on the agenda is to another Rebuild Texas grant that we were approved for in the amount of $52,550, and that is to completely replace, elevate, and better monitor and filter out the exhaust of our current generator. We did have problems towards the end of the hurricane when we're using the generator, and it also has become a money pit. So we saw a need to replace that generator. If you approve, we're good to go with this project.
I make a motion that we approve the Rebuild Texas grant in the amount of $52,550 for the police department.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Next item that I have for you is to consider an act on approving the mayor and the chief of police to renew our 1033 participation program. It's no longer called the 1033 program. It's called the Department of Defense Property Transfer Program. If you will recall, you guys approved this a few years back. We have since then received 10 ammo boxes that we use for prisoner restraints, one kitchen range, which we put to work regularly. My girls know how to cook good over there. 26 aim point sights for rifles, 2 training aid dummies, 6 dive team wetsuits, and 2 light power plants, which those alone were $17,000 in value that we've received. And you guys also approved a while back receiving an MRAP vehicle. We have finally selected one out, and we should have it delivered here very soon. And that value there is $455,000. They're basically brand new sitting there, and we got one coming. So if you approve, we will continue this relationship and continue to leverage it to our advantage.
I make a motion to approve the mayor and chief of police to renew the agreement with the Defense Logistics Agency Disposition Services, allowing the police department participation in the Excess Department of Defense Property Transfer Program.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The next item I have for you, Mayor and Council, is to terminate our MOU with Eddie Garza and enter into a new MOU with U.S. FAT, which stands for United States Fugitive Apprehension and Transport Company. They also provide security services. If you recall, we had a guy that was in our custody that basically escaped while under the watch of Eddie Garza's security guard, and then he left the facility. We can't afford to have that happen again. I immediately suspended those arrangements and started using this other company in hopes that you will approve this continued MOU and relationship with U.S. FAT.
MOU with US Vet.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Mayor and Council, and this last item is actually for the fire department. The chief is out to training, so this is my first time seeing it on this agenda, but he had put in for a Rebuild Texas grant as well. He was also approved, and with your blessing and approval, they will receive $39,671.28 for 7 public safety radios to bring them onto the 800 system as we are currently operating on.
Y'all all be on the same frequencies?
We'll all have the same radio equipment. They'll still operate on theirs, but it allows for interop.
No downtime or anything?
Yeah, it allows for better interop capabilities and stuff like that.
Okay, perfect. Well, I make a motion, we accept the Rebuild Texas Fund grant in the amount of $39,671 for the fire department and approving purchase of multiband radios from Daily Wells Communication.
A second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Do we have any city council or staff announcements, Jerry?
Yes, very briefly. As far as staff announcements go, just want to let you know that we had on April 27th, we had the citywide cleanup, very successful, to the point where the dumpsters, and several of you were involved with it also. The dumpsters were filled before noon, had a very large turnout for the citywide cleanup. Filled early, as I indicated, which means we got to have more. And so we are now in the process of scheduling more, and that's going to be our next step in the process. Good turnout and good participation, but we need to continue doing it. So that's just an update for you.
Now we're going to go to citizen comments. Citizen comments are intended for the matter.
Oh, yes. You want to go ahead and do it?
We wanted to tell you that we're scheduling a special meeting for Monday to canvass the election results. Monday, May 13th, at 6 p.m.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't know that. Okay, now we're going to go to citizen comments. Citizen comments are intended for the matter that are not scheduled on the agenda. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes and state your name and address for the record. Be advised that the Texas Open Meeting Act prohibits the City Council from responding and discussing your comments. The law authorizes the following: make a statement of factual information, recite existing policy, advise that this may be placed on the agenda for the subsequent meeting.
Howard Gillespie, County Commissioner, 3141 FM 3512, up there at the airport where my office is. Before I came over, I received an email from Chief Blanchard, and subsequent to that, I went ahead and contacted our code enforcement about 2416 McMullen Lane, Aransas Pass, Texas, about the debris there and the unsanitary condition of it. And as soon as I know that I'll be able to bill the property owner and put a lien on the property, we'll get out there and clean that up. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Name's Donald Brummett, live at 912 South Wright. I have a question for Jan and the mayor. I know the answer has been the water tower is going to be finished August the 27th or August the 25th. What I'd like to know is when are they going to begin to build it? We're getting tired of the
I agree.
low water pressure.
They're working on it now. It's just all the behind-the-scenes work and the borings that have to go on before actual construction. Actual construction will go fast, but they have to do all of this preliminary work that is very frustrating. You're correct, but it will be done by August 25th.
Can I say something?
Yes,
Yeah.
please do. He
A-
addressed us.
Actually, I believe that the process is that it's being prefab at their facilities, and they're just gonna come over here and just put it together. I believe that's why we don't see no progress and don't see none of that.
They're prefabbing it?
Yes, sir. They'll come and they'll put it together. And I feel pretty safe to be able to say that.
There's a penalty if it's not
Oh,
completed by the
yes.
20th.
Oh,
That's what I
yes.
thought. I have to
Yes.
fine. That's why it has to be completed.
And I guarantee you, they don't wanna pay us no money.
No
Exactly.
change orders.
Exactly.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay, anybody else?
I got it in front of anybody. I didn't see where my name was on the list, but I'll come up with it. My name is Penny Bob Upton. I live at 657 South Lamont Street, Aransas Pass, Texas. I have some comments about supposed to be the jewel in our crown of our city. One is the dog park. Here's my comment. Whoever designed that doesn't have a dog and has never had a dog. I took my dog in there once, took 3 steps, and his paws were full of stickers. They planted some oak trees that they watered about less than 2 weeks. They're dead. Now you ask how I know this. That's because I go down there about 6 days a week. Now, also, the boardwalk is horrible. I guess Harvey took its roof off where the sun, the shade, it's gone. Nails are sticking up, boards are missing. Now, if we want to be the crown jewel in all of that area, we need to do something about it. Nothing has been done with that boardwalk, nothing, since it was built. So you need to put that on your agenda, is my belief. Another comment I have, when a block behind me from Lamont is a debris the size of a Volkswagen Beetle. Not on my property, but I'm saying I see this all over the city. Now, I think it's wonderful that you have dumpsters that people can bring things to, but if you believe they're gonna bring that to the dumpsters, you're sadly mistaken. They're not going to. Okay. That's my comments, kids. Okay. Thank you. And also, congratulations on your reelection.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She's right.
My name is Carol Salinas. I live on South 11th Street, Aransas Pass. I was not going to speak, but I want to comment on Ms. Upton's comments and agree with her. When the dog park was built, I was all excited because I am an animal lover. I have 2 dogs, and they love to go places. But any dog park anywhere has 2 gates. A gate that you walk in, there's a little tiny holding area where they can be turned off leash and then sniff other dogs and then be put in there. It's nothing but stickers. There was a water pond, it was cement depression in the middle of it, which had no water. I think it's supposed to be for dogs to play with, and it was full of grass burrs and no shade. I went in the summer, and that was my one and only visit. We have put some money and investment into the fence that's there. It would not be that difficult to possibly make some upgrade to it. Thank you.
Okay.
Vicki, do you remember when I told you I wanted that dog park named after my dog? Please don't.
I'll keep that in
We'll
mind.
make it better.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We'll make it better. Okay, now, we're going to go into executive session, Section 551.071 of the Texas Open Meeting Act, to meet with his attorney to seek legal advice on a matter in which which the duty of the attorney to the city council under the Texas disciplinary rules of professional conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with the Texas Open Meeting Act relating to annexation proceedings, industrial district, City of the Aransas Pass versus Utility Service Company, Incorporated, Civil Action Number 2.19 CV 0124 in the U.S. Southern District Court, District of Texas, Corpus Christi Division. Conditional use permit, Kevin and Samantha Simon dueling pistols. 6:30, and we shall return.
There's two more. Two more.
Bora, fregada. Okay. Then we go to section 551.087, deliberations regarding economic development negotiation concerning potential apartment complex. Section 551.071 of the Texas Open Meeting Act, to meet with his attorney to seek legal advice on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the City Council on the Texas disciplinary rules of professional conduct to the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with the Texas Open Meeting Act, Section 551.072, for deliberations of purchase, exchange, lease of the value or real property. If the deliberation in the open meeting would have a detrimental effect on the position of the city in negotiations with a third person in section 551.087 for deliberations regarding economic development negotiations related to industrial district agreement as requested by Rockport Terminal. Reconvene in open session to consider and take action, if any, on any item discussed in executive session.
Time is 6:30.
6:31. I'm going to reconvene in open session to consider and take action, if any, on any of the items discussed in executive session at 7:41.
No action necessary. I'll make a motion, we adjourn this meeting.
A second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.